I'm Tanya Kane Perry.
And I'm John Dyer V.
With NewsWrap, a summary of some of the news in or affecting LGBTQ communities around the world for the week ending May 8th, 2021. The Parliament of Uganda passed the Sexual Offences Bill 2019 this week, again solidifying the East African nation as one of the worst places on earth to be queer. The bill clarifies the Penal Code's ban on unnatural offenses by specifying a ban on sexual acts between persons of the same gender. Those acts are equated with bestiality, and sex workers and their clients of any orientation are punished with prison time. It passed its third reading on May 3rd. The government of President Yoweri Museveni began its campaign against queer Ugandans in 2013. Global critics made the original Anti-Homosexuality Act infamous, calling it the Kill the Gays bill, because it included execution for aggravated homosexuality, repeated convictions for engaging in same-gender sex. Lawmakers eventually settled on life in prison for unnatural sex. The current version punishes consensual adult same-gender sex with up to 5 years in prison. Museveni is expected to sign it. Frank Mugisha of Sexual Minorities Uganda called the new law extreme, uncalled for, and very regrettable, and pledged to challenge this in the courts of law. The old Kill the Gays bill was struck down by Uganda's Constitutional Court in 2014, but only on a legal technicality. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights and the U.S. State Department were the first among global leaders to issue statements condemning the Sexual Offences Bill.
A pair of gay dads in Croatia have won the right for same-gender couples there to adopt children. In September, Mladen Kojic and Ivo Segota became the first queer couple in the small Balkan nation to win the right to foster parent 2 children. Their 5-year effort to become parents finally ended when the Zagreb Administrative Court ruled in late April that they should be able to fully adopt the 7- and 5-year-old little boys. Croatia has allowed same-gender couples to enter into life partnerships since 2014, but that was only after a referendum constitutionally defined civil marriage as exclusively heterosexual. A 2019 law encouraged fostering by married and unmarried heterosexual couples and single people, but the eligibility of life partners was not specified. Kojic and Segota challenged that omission in court, and that ultimately led to the fostering and adoption decisions. The dads said that they went public with their effort after clearing it with the social worker in their case. They wanted to show that queer couples are not, in their words, some kind of monsters, aliens imported from the West. But they added, it's not about us. It's about children who deserve better care and, due to the poor work of institutions, are losing their future. A government spokesperson told Reuters that there would be no comment until the ruling is non-appealable and final.
The president of the Tongan Laitis Association was found dead on a beach near his home on May 1st. A 27-year-old man has been charged with murdering Polikalepo Kefu. The motive for the killing has not been disclosed. 41-year-old Poli, as he was known, led the association that advocates for trans and gender variant Tongans. It also provides HIV/AIDS services. Proudly gay Tongan Olympic swimmer Amini Funoa joined dozens of organizations and individuals to mourn Poli's death. He said, "It is truly a devastating day when we learn that people in the Pacific are still being murdered for simply living in their truth." Tonga is a Polynesian string of islands in the southwestern Pacific. It's among the dozens of countries around the world that continue to criminalize same-gender sex.
A gay paramedic in the Latvian city of Tukums is dead after an allegedly homophobic neighbor doused his clothes with flammable liquid and set him on fire. 29-year-old Normunds Kindzulis suffered burns over more than 85% of his body. His gay friend artist Jan Klavins was also hospitalized with burns he got trying in vain to save Kindzulis. The European Pride Organizers Association took to Twitter to proclaim Kindzulis a victim of a homophobic arson attack. Latvia's queer advocacy group Mozaika agreed. Kindzulis had left the capital city of Riga to escape death threats by moving to Tukums, about 70 kilometers away. After the April 23rd attack, he was transferred to a Riga hospital, where he died on April 28th. Jan Klavins told the local Tukums newspaper that the neighbor accused of killing Kindzulis had verbally threatened and shouted homophobic slogans at them a number of times. He said the pair had filed complaints with the police, but there was no investigation. "We had to wait for someone to be mutilated or killed," he said. No arrests in the case have been reported.
Here's this week's scorecard of Republican-controlled U.S. state legislatures competing to pass bans on transgender athletes in school sports. The Kansas Senate failed to override Democratic Governor Laura Kelly's veto of their trans ban. Committees in the Texas and Louisiana Houses of Representatives each refused to advance similar bills. Tennessee's legislature is currently leading the Republican charge against queer and transgender youth with a trifecta of nastiness. One bill allows parents to pull their kids out of sex education classes that include discussions of sexual orientation or gender identity. Another would outlaw gender-affirming care for trans minors. Top those off with a bill to require businesses to post signs alerting the public that they allow transgender people to use their bathrooms.
Finally, on a different note,
I'm like scotch inside a gold bands. I'm like B-side towns fans, and I'm always speaking my mind when I'm better off biting my tongue. I'm a bad joke at the wrong time. Hell, I'm a legend of my own mind. I'm good for some, but I'm not for everyone. Yeah, I'm good for some, but I'm not for everyone.
Tennessee Senate Republicans unanimously approved a resolution to honor Osborne Brothers lead singer T.J. Osborne as a trailblazer in country music. Osborne came out in a Time magazine interview earlier this year. However, the measure was effectively killed by the state House Republican caucus chair Jeremy Faison, who lodged a procedural challenge. Faison's long record of anti-queer statements and votes make his procedural objections seem far too convenient. Casey Musgraves joined other country stars to publicly condemn the pettiness. Osborne Brothers' musical collaborator Maren Morris retweeted a statement from the progressive news outlet Tennessee Holler that said Faison blocked the honor for the gay country star for no reason other than blatant bigotry and spite. So much hate in our state.
I'm not for everyone.
That's NewsWrap, global queer news with attitude, for the week ending May 8th, 2021. Follow the news in your area and around the world. An informed community is a strong community.
NewsWrap is recording remotely during the COVID-19 emergency. It's written by Greg Gordon, edited by Lucia Chappelle, produced by Brian DeShazer, and brought to you by you.
Help keep us in ears around the world at thiswayout.org, where you can also read the text of this newscast and much more.
And you can read the transcript and listen to NewsWrap each week by subscribing to our This Way Out radio channel on YouTube. For This Way Out, I'm John Dyer V. Stay healthy.
And I'm Tanya Kane Perry. Stay safe.